We have serious issues out there like soybean shortages, ketchup shortages. We got a lot to talk about on this video. Instead of using reports coming from you guys and instead of coming up with reports coming from me, this episode is a little bit different because we're actually going to be going to major supply chain company SYSCO because they put out some reports on like what's going on with inside their supply chain, what's difficult to find, why those things are the way they are. They source for schools, businesses, restaurants, major facilities like hospitals and everything like that. This is a major powerhouse in the food supply chain, and SYSCO shares with their customers what's going on, what's hard to get. So we're going to be looking through these. If you find this type of video useful or helpful, make sure you let me know down in the comments down below, and we can make this more of a regular occurrence as well. All right, without further ado, welcome to the Poplar Report. Let's jump right into it. Just as an FYI, over at our other channel, Poplar Prepper, I have an interview that just went live 1 o'clock this afternoon, Saturday. Interview with Joe at Survival Living. Great conversation with him. That will be live right now when the video comes live, so might want to check over there. There'll be a link at the end of the video so you can go check that out. Make sure you're subscribed to this channel because this is my backup channel. If anything happens to me here and I disappear, I may just reappear over there. All right, friends, this is SYSCO's reports. They share some information that you may not have heard out there. Did you know that soybeans, domestic storage of soybeans is at lowest levels in over 20 years? They don't have as many soybeans out there. Plus, the oil refinery capacity, not crude oil, not petroleum, but rather soybean oil refinery capacity is maxed out. They can't produce any more. It's going as fast as it can. Fuel versus food fight. Soybean oil demand for biofuels is larger than the total U.S. food demand for soybean oil. They're making biodiesel and all that kind of stuff with it. And that's driving prices up and availability is down. And we have a whole lot more people just appearing inside the United States, friends. So that's why soybean oil for food requirements is going up. So moving on up, oil prices significantly higher than last year. So soybean shortening, think of Crisco, think about just, any kind of shortening that's, vegetable. That's usually soybeans out there. Also, there's a chicken wing shortage. Now, you probably recognize this because prices of chicken wings are just through the roof and you can never find them cheap and it's just crazy. But everybody wants them. Increasing food service demand and continued strong demand from retail and QSR channels in both fresh and pre-cooked wings. So poultry industry is having issues, but also everybody wants chicken wings, right? Mother Nature, strong winter storm in the south created a gap in bird production. So we had that. Plus, of course, we have the bird flu going around, right? Help wanted, labor challenges continuing to impact production output in processing facilities. So labor challenges at those processing facilities. 37 million pound shortage. That's a lot of pounds, right? Harvesting 3.5% fewer pounds than last year, which is 37 million pounds a week less than last year. So that, as you can see on the graph on the left too, the 5-year average of cold wing storage usually is around 65,000 or so. Right now, in 2021, that's a couple years ago, it was a lot lower, but it's continued to drop even since then. All right, ketchup shortage. These updates are current. I just pulled them right off the site. I'm not quite sure why those dates are a little old. But the ketchup shortage in food service, packet shortages, and they're suggesting that people use little cups instead of the packets, right? And squeeze bottles. All right, so the SYSCO Market Watch report for May 24th, 2024. Before we dive in, this video is sponsored by Prepper Beef. The freeze-dried beef, it's got a lot of promises that come along with it. No lab-grown meat ever. No, the shelf life 10 plus years. No RNA jabs ever. They won't let it. 100% natural, and it's all American beef. They're not importing it from outside the country. High quality product. As soon as the beef is slaughtered, it moves into being freeze-dried and comes to you. It's cooked and then freeze-dried comes to you. They have a big sale going on right now over this weekend through Memorial Day. They have a 35%, up to 35% off. If you use the code Poplar15, you get 25% off, and if you set it up as a subscription, it actually gives you another 10% off. You can cancel the subscription whenever you want to. Check it out down in the comments down below. There'll also be a link at the end of the video. All right, so what's going on out there in this crazy world? So poultry, as we just talked about the chicken wings, majority of fresh chicken plants will not run on Memorial Day, so they're expecting a slowdown there of what's going on. We expect tight supply of fresh chicken next week due to lower production, so be aware of that. Also with beef, beef packers reduced hours due to continued losses on their end. The reduced harvest packers have been able to limit supplies and increase pricing for current shipping windows. So prices are going up on beef because beef packers aren't able to get enough cattle into the slaughterhouses anymore. That is interesting to hear. Poultry, hatchability of eggs remains an issue. So we've talked about this in passing, but it really is a big deal going on out there. It's not just that we had a bird flu and had a bunch of birds that had to be put down, but the fact is that now the eggs that they're using to try to repopulate the flocks, they're not getting as many chicks out of, the proportion of chicks coming out of eggs has dropped dramatically, and that is making it really hard for them to rebuild the flocks. So we continue to see supply shortages, especially on wings and tenders. Breast demand has started to level off. Wing demand continues to be strong. We already talked about that. Tenders demand is very strong and remain the hardest offering to find. So chicken tenders, hard to find. Dark meat demand remains very good. Whole birds are mostly steady. Pork. What's going on with pork? B&I in butts are moving up next week, while boneless butts took a slight dip. Spare ribs are also moving up with grilling season approaching. Loins are also moving up as retail ads are being featured and strong exports as well. Bellies are moving up next week and the market remains volatile. And that's mostly referring to prices. Beef, supply is limited and packers are asking higher prices. Trying to do so gradually will be key. Ribs and tenders, prices are up across the board, although product is still available. Strips and top butts continue to drift higher, while supplies remain tight. End cuts, insides, and chucks are flat. Grind, due to limited harvest and high demand, drifted higher. So your ground beef is moving up price-wise. Dairy, we got fruit and vegetables coming up as well, but let's talk about dairy. Shell egg markets are up, including California and Northwest markets, and the block and barrel are increasing and steady. Butter is up. Cream supplies are starting to seasonally tighten. Milk production is following seasonal trends across the country as we approach summer. So there was the flush that happened this spring. Again, that's an annual kind of deal, and they do have some issues with supply every spring. We're moving into summer with fairly good regular milk supply, but issues with butter. And also the cream, right? Grains and oil, soybean oil moved about 2% higher last week. Like we said, soybean oil is going up price-wise, harder to find. Crude, diesel, and soybean oil were all higher. The short speculator positions on the markets, right, is still present, but funds were the big buyers last week. Palm oil was flat with balanced supply and demand. That's good news out there. Palm oil gets stuck in a lot of foods, a lot of manufactured foods and stuff. So with that price staying relatively flat, it will keep soybean from going too much higher. but canola is also moving up with soybean. Seafood, North Atlantic lobster tail supply is improving. There were some issues with that. Prices are coming down. Markets are steady week over week. Seafood sector is gearing up for a big holiday going into summer, and operators are revamping summer menus. Okay, let's talk about vegetables. What's going on out there? Asparagus. Mexican supplies are limited with local and Peruvian supplies adequate to meet demand of market is steady. Quality is fair to good. Broccoli. Market mostly steady but higher undertones due to lighter yields and higher demand. Supplies are adequate in meeting demand. Cabbage, red and green. Red pricing remains elevated as supplies are expected to be tight for the next couple weeks. Let me know down in the comments if this is useful information for you guys. If this is helping you with your shopping or getting you thinking about what's out there. So supplies on red and green cabbage and quality good on green. The market is mostly steady. Cauliflower. Market continues to come down as supplies continue to improve and demand is moderate. Cilantro, tighter supply on cilantro. Market is reacting higher. Quality is okay, but weather is impacting yields. Market up. A bit on curly but flat is active and higher as supplies remain tight. Expect most suppliers just to meet demand. Celery, supplies remain snug and market remains firm. We do not anticipate any significant relief until Salinas starts up in June. So no relief on celery until June. Corn, east. Corn supply good, quality good, demand decent, market remains low, so low price. West, good supplies with moderate demand. Eggplant, east, supplies much lighter, demand very good, market increasing. Florida production is coming to an end and Georgia is just getting started, but not into volume yet. West, limited acreage planted in the desert, supplies lower, market higher, quality issues. Lettuce iceberg, you've been seeing this out there, right? Market active and remains elevated with various growers at different levels of supply. Early season planting disruptions. We've been seeing this in the stores, haven't we? And cooler weather have suppliers tight with just meeting market demand. Romaine lettuce, market remains high, but is beginning to soften a bit as supplies are getting better. So lettuce on the romaine side should be getting better over the next number of weeks. Market also remains high on hearts as they are a bit tighter. Onions, we've been talking about onions recently, haven't we, on some of our reports? And there's a reason for it, because you can see here's a red alert on their market. Market is a bit softer with good volume and quality as warmer desert continues to improve yields. But we're still in red alert territory. So it looks like we're going to slowly pull out of the onion problem that we have, but be aware that there is a problem with onions right now. Bell peppers, east. Green bell supply good, quality is good, demand fair, market steady, red and yellow bells limited. And on the west, it was saying that it's pretty steady. Peppers, chili. Supplies are finishing up in Florida and starting in Georgia. Supplies good, demand and quality good, with markets lower on varieties besides Serrano, Anaheim, and Poblanos, which remain extremely short. West, market higher, supplies lower as Mexico finishes extremely short. So peppers on the west coast are short. Potatoes, russets, supplies are very light on 40 to 50 count for most suppliers. 90 to 120 count are plentiful. This now looks to be the case through the summer months. Demand is following supply accordingly. Prices are steady on large and lower on small sizes. So basically we're seeing some supplies shortages out there of potatoes. Squash. Zucchini and yellow squash supplies are extremely short on the East Coast. Demand is strong, market's very high. Some Georgia fields already have significant disease issues from too much rain. West, higher market as transition is slow to start. Quality is fair from all regions. So some issues with squash. Tomatoes, there is an alert on this as well. Round markets continue to improve with increased availability out of Florida. Grape and cherry markets remain stable with steady volume on normal demand. Roma markets have improved with increased availability of Florida and Mexico. So things are starting to look up for the tomato shortages out there. Avocado pricing has stabilized with lighter volume from Mexico, but California is now, production is underway, helping to keep up with strong demand. When you see numbers like that, 48s and stuff like that, and these codes are for sizes for different things. Citrus, lemon alert, District 1. Fruit mostly larger. Consequently, 140s and smaller are very tightly supplied. So small lemons are hard to find, but bigger lemons are out there. The lemon market will continue to be tight throughout the summer, mostly May and June, or until the relief of foreign imports. Small lemon demand exceeds supplies. So look for those bigger lemons. You might get a better price break on that. Oranges, alert, navels. Beginning to wrap up for the season. Most of the volumes on 88s and smaller are Valencia's oranges. Export navel season is finished. Smaller sizes are better supplied as the demand of schools has decreased. So oranges, you're actually going to do better with the smaller ones. Limes. Summer lime production continues to increase, but Mexico needs some rain to help the fruit continue to size up. We're having issues across Mexico right now because of low rainfall. Right now, most of the crop is smaller and with very few largers being produced. Offshore fruit has also slowed down, pushing some of the demand back to Mexico. Grapes. Chilean supplies are coming to an end as the volume picks up on Mexico. So it moves from Chile to Mexico and then to California with the grapes, right? There's like they try to make these things so that there's consistent supply out there. So Chile is done, and we're starting to see more harvests come in from Mexico, and then we're going to start seeing California more so happening there as well. That is what we got out there on what's going on with food supplies and supply chain issues. If you guys have things to share about things that you're seeing locally where you are, please use the word update in the comments on this video or any video on this channel. Please also give us some sort of geographical location. On the screen is a link to our first Poplar Prepper video interview with Joe at Survival Living. Please do hop over there, check it out, see if you're going to like that channel, or even subscribe to it just as a backup to this channel. And also on the screen is a link to Prepper Beef if you want to check that out, and their sale that comes to an end the beginning of next week because that price is really good, 35% off if you use the subscription option. All right, friends, thanks so much for watching. Steve Poplar of the Poplar Report, out.